This is Speaking of Speaking. Quick tips and tools to take you from stage fright to spotlight. This podcast gives you an inside look from the world of public speaking and the speaking secrets you need to be bold from the stage, no matter what business you're in. The host of Speaking, Carl Richards.
Thank you, Matt. It's a very special edition, actually, of the Speaking of Speaking podcast. I am joined by Katherine Burrows. Now, we've chatted with Katherine before. However, this is a very special episode because Katherine and I have something that we're going to be revealing today about an amazing partnership that has a number of moving parts to it, all of which you'll be able to take advantage of. I don't want to give away everything yet because I want to say hi and welcome Katherine. Katherine, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Carl. Thanks for the fabulous intro on my podcast. I feel like this is like a crossover episode, like, you know, all those Marvel TV shows where the characters always end up on each other's show. I feel like a superhero right now sitting here with you.
We're here today because we are sharing something very unique. You and I have been talking for quite some time now for, how can we work together? Because we have similar services that we provide. Yours for the written word, mine for the spoken word. So it only made sense to partner together on something that was truly, how do I say it? Amazing, magical, phenomenal, earth-shattering, all of those things put together. And that's without a thesaurus, by the way. I just wanted to let you know.
Well, awesome. I am duly impressed. And speaking of doing two things at once, I mean, it was, I think during one of my, the planning sessions where we were talking about my podcast content and my ideal audience, that we really came to the conclusion that our audiences both have similar problems, blocks, and myths that are preventing them from getting their book or podcast to launch.
And that's why this is a very unique episode for both of us, because we're not doing a deep dive in this episode. We'd like to, but what we'd really like to do is do a deeper dive with you and talk about the 5 myths that really are keeping you from either launching your book or launching your podcast. And Katherine, why don't we just give a little bit of a tease of what those 5 myths are without saying in detail what they are. I'll let you do that.
We have narrowed it down to 5 myths: the money myth, the competition myth, the content myth, the tech myth, and the time myth. So those are the 5 major blocks and myths that are keeping both of our ideal clients from launching a book or launching a podcast. And then we kind of dove deeper into that, in that we may have ideal clients who want to do both of those things.
And if you're listening to this and you're hearing those myths going, time, yeah, that's maybe why I haven't written a book yet. Money, oh yeah, there's something there. And the other 3 myths as well, then this is definitely for you. So what is for you? What Katherine and I have done is, and this is very time sensitive, so if you're hearing this past the date, you can still reach out to us to find out what our other offerings are that you might be able to take part in. But the time specific date is, write this on the calendar. Better yet, click the link in the show notes, because on May 10th at 12 Eastern time, Katherine and I will be co-presenting a lunch and learn. If you're in a different part of the world, maybe it's going to be a dinner and learn, or a breakfast and learn, or a snack and learn. Whatever
is that you have food and it's free.
And water, and yes, it's free. And we're going to be unbundling those 5 myths in more detail, as well as give you some insights as to some of the advantages, some of the benefits of having a book and a podcast, and some of the things you could be missing out on if you don't have a podcast, or if you're not taking the step forward to publish a book. And as Katherine said, it is free. We're posting the link in the show notes for you to sign up. There is a Zoom link that'll be accompanied with that, and some other great things too that you'll learn in that 90 minutes.
Yes. So we're really looking forward to sharing all of that information with you, to meeting you on Zoom, and being able to walk you through those 5 myths and not only what they are, but how to eliminate them so that you can get that book or that podcast, or maybe even both, launched, get it out into that world, increase your impact, increase your reach, increase your profit, all those things we all want to do.
Increase everything within reason, of course. And by the way, this is just the first step. This is just the first part. There will be some other things you will learn or you will hear about in that workshop, which will move you forward or will be the catalyst to move things for you to get your book published. We're not going to do that. We can't do it all in 90 minutes. You can't publish a book in 90 minutes, same as you can't launch a podcast in 90 minutes, but we'll be sharing some other exciting information with you when we do our workshop.
Yes. So the removal of those myths and blocks is such an important part of the pre-work that you need to do to be ready to start the actual work of launching the podcast or launching the book. So that's what we really want to do, is get you to that place where you are ready to start that work.
I'm super excited, Katherine. I know that you are equally as excited. Anything else you'd like to add or share with your audience before we do a quick wrap up?
I think we've done a great job of covering it, Carl. I am always thrilled to chat with you and thrilled to share the virtual stage with you. So looking forward to seeing all of our listeners on May the 10th.
At 12 o'clock Eastern. The link is in the show notes. Looking forward to meeting all of you then and dispelling those 5 myths that are stopping you from either launching your book or launching your podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Speaking of Speaking podcast. Fired up about something you heard today? Want to learn more? Be sure to visit carlspeaks.ca. And don't forget to follow Carl on Twitter @CarlRichard72 or join the Facebook group Speaking of Speaking.